Hello. Come on in. Hello, hello, hello. Let's see.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
How are you?
What's going on, people? How you doing, son?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. I'm doing awesome. Thanks for joining the source and this IG live chat and coordinating for us.
No problem. No problem. It's an important topic.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of y'all might not know this wonderful woman here, but she's a woman who's done a lot of work in the health and mental health profession. She's a sister who's very, very much an expert, and she's going to be talking for us to another doctor on the issue of how to deal with pregnancies during the COVID crisis. So
Exactly.
I'm very, very excited that we're going to have Dr. Paige on. That's going to be
Mm-hmm.
dope. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an important topic because so many people have so many questions during this time. They don't know how to handle so many non-COVID emergencies. And the one thing that doesn't stop happening in any emergency is babies being born.
Yeah. A lot of people are pregnant still. That's never going to stop, right? How are
Yeah.
we taking care of the babies?
Right.
You
Right.
know, tell the people a little bit about you before the doctor come on.
Okay. Well, my name is Sonia Davy, and I am a licensed mental health counselor as well as a mental wellness health coach. So I teach people how to take care of primarily mental health, but also how to take care of their overall health, which contributes very heavily to their mental health. And so I love doing it. I'm also a life coach. I teach life skill workshops in shelters. And so I'm busy. And I'm also a dance fitness instructor. So I'm very busy.
Very, very busy. Very, very
Mhm.
busy. So,
Mhm.
what time is the doctor going to join us?
Hang on one second and let me check. Hold on. You keep talking to the audience. Hang on.
Yeah. So, what's going on, Source family? How's everybody doing out there? Let me see those hands. By a show of hands, give me a sign, give me a prayer sign if everything is going well.
Let me see if I can.
I'll
Hold
take a
on.
thumbs up too. I'll take a thumbs up too. Now
Um,
tomorrow we got a lot of hip hop coming for you. We got Currency coming up. We also got the king of funk, legendary George Clinton coming up.
wow.
Wow, isn't that gonna be crazy?
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
great.
hang.
That's
I
great.
may have to I may have to drop you in order to add her. So
Oh, you
hang
have to
on.
drop me. Yeah, you're gonna
Okay.
drop me. Is she
I hate to
around?
have to yeah, I hate to have to drop you, but I'm gonna have to
I'm not.
drop
No, I'm
you.
happy. I just want to make sure all my folks are out here and we're paying attention and all is good. I look forward
Hmm.
to listening to the conversation. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
All right, hang on, guys. Hold on one second. Okay. 1 minute, guys. Just a second. All right, hang on. We're just waiting for her to come on. But anyway, any questions? Like I said, make sure if you have anybody that you know is pregnant or they have some concerns, if they either, if they're early stages or anything, during this season, there's going to be a lot of questions. Dr. Paige is going to talk about protocols that people should follow, things you should know. There's a lot of changes that's going on in the hospitals right now in terms of how to deal with someone that's either pregnant or who has, or in the, in the process of having a baby. So this is really, really important because as we know, we're living in times that's very different from before. So hi, how you guys doing? Hang on a second. Let me see if I can add her on. In the meantime, you guys gather your people and gather your questions, okay? Hold on. Okay, she's jumping on right now. 1 second. Hi, how you doing?
Hi.
How are you?
You can see me?
I can see you and I can hear you clearly. And we're getting lots of waves, getting hey there from a whole lot of people. We got a nice group of people on today. Hello, gorgeous. Okay, we got that. I don't know if that was for me or you, but we'll both take it. Well, I want us to dive right in, guys. This is Dr. Paige Longsharp. She's an OBGYN and also a physician advisor. And she's been practicing for a very long time, so she has a wealth of information. But more importantly, she's going to start off tonight giving you guys some information on some updated information on COVID-19 that's extremely important. And then we're going to also talk about what are some things specifically for women that are pregnant, what protocols should they take during this time. So again, if you have anyone that you know that's pregnant or you have any questions, feel free to throw those in the comments, but I'm going to turn it over to you, Paige. Give us some updates of what's going on with COVID and some measures that we should continue or put in place.
Right. So first of all, I just want to thank you for inviting me. Definitely thanking the Source Magazine. And thank you to our audience who is taking their time out this evening to listen. So we all are inundated with this pandemic about coronavirus. I'm going to give some updates as pertains to what we still should be doing in terms of social distancing, wearing a mask when you're outside or any type of covering that you can have. I want to update people on when you do go out, you should, when you come back in the house, have some type of containment area, be it in your home or your apartment or what have you. You should pretty much be wearing the same type of shoes, the same type of, it's getting warm now, but pretty much kind of stick to the same type of outfit so that that's the only outfit, so to speak, that you're contaminating. The coronavirus lasts 2 to 3 days on steel and metal. So like the big earrings on now, we really should cut down on the jewelry when we're going outside because it is able to attach to that. In addition, your gloves when you're going grocery shopping, on the carts, all of those type of things. Your door handles when you're coming back in the house, you should be wiping those down with your disinfectant, any type of Clorox, because all the Lysol wipes and things are pretty much gone by now.
Right.
Yeah, but those are some of the precautions that we really should be continuing to practice. I also want to just point out that the large percent of people are walking around asymptomatic, and the studies are showing that how we're taking temperatures, I'm not negating that. That's still an excellent way to kind of screen people. But the numbers are showing that the majority are asymptomatic. They don't have any symptoms. They have no fever, no cough, anything like that. So pretty much you should be operating in the vein that everybody is positive until proven otherwise. And that's how we should really be conducting ourselves. Yeah. So those are some just recommendations to still continue. I know we've seen, the audience has seen the numbers in terms of minorities and people of color. It's affecting us in disproportionate numbers, unfortunately, because we have some of the comorbidities that is making our risks higher, and that being hypertension,
Right.
diabetes, obesity, all these things. Your immune system, if it's not in tip-top shape,
Right.
then the virus is going to love to attack you even more.
Okay. Okay. Getting a little fuzzy, but keep talking. Hanging in it. Connection just a little slow. You guys keep putting questions. I'm looking at the comments down and keep sending the comments. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, in the meantime, until the connection improves, I'm just going to repeat a few things she said. Be mindful of the clothes that you wear. That's actually what I do. Okay, let me add it back. I think the connection was poor. Make sure you're wearing the same outfits. You know, keep it by the door when you're coming in and out. Not to change clothes a lot. The virus likes metal, so the earrings can't do this. I don't know about the connection, but that's why I was just repeating what you said about the clothes and the metal. But go ahead, what you were saying.
Right. So I was talking about just the how it's attacking us. And
Okay.
initially, when this first came out, there was rumors that African Americans were not catching it. We had a gene that was preventing us from getting it. That is absolutely false. And
Okay.
we see from
False.
the numbers that absolutely. And we see that we are being affected at disproportionate higher numbers than any other
Okay.
ethnic race right now. So it's real. It's very real.
Okay.
We have to practice precaution, distancing, all of that is very important.
Okay. Okay. Good. That's good to know because, you know, again, like you said, some people are still believing some of the, you know, the early myths that we couldn't get it, but we need to know. And it's important what you said about the jewelry, because I wouldn't have even thought about, you know, if I'm going, the few times I am going out during the week, you know, jewelry
Right.
and that the virus likes metal, you know, that's just nothing I even thought about. So, and in terms of the clothes,
Right.
like you said, wear the same clothes. And I know I have mine by the door and just with the same
Right.
thing, you know, and wash them as often as possible. So, well, that's good. That's good. Thank you for that. What about for women? Let's start off, you know, talking about women that are pregnant. For a woman, for example, who suspects that she's pregnant and she needs a pregnancy test, you know, what should she do?
Well, I mean, there's still the old-fashioned pregnancy tests in the drugstore, in the pharmacy, any CVS, Target, and actually the pregnancy tests that are used over the counter are pretty much the same pregnancy tests that we use in the office.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they still have that option. If
Okay.
they're unable to afford or get a pregnancy test, they should call their healthcare provider. Do not go into the emergency room
Okay.
at all. That is absolutely stay at home. But they
Okay.
can call their provider. If they don't have a provider, they can just call Planned Parenthood. A lot of offices are doing the telehealth medicine right now, and pretty much you can, right. So you can pretty much every office and every organization, like the Planned Parenthoods, the West Meds, the HIP centers, you know, all of those type of centers, you can pretty much call in and get a telemedicine visit. The regulations regarding HIPAA have been totally released. So you can do it via your iPhone, your laptop, anything. It doesn't have to necessarily be a secure device anymore. The DEA has even looked at regulations in terms of prescribing medications up to the point that we're able to now prescribe narcotics without necessarily having had to see the patient face to face. So a lot of these things have been lifted because of what is going on.
Okay. No, that's good, because a lot of people, I know, again, as a therapist, a lot of people were anxious early on because they didn't know if they were sick, or again, if they were suspected that they were pregnant, or if they were indeed pregnant, what to do. And so, you know, I'm also on a call weekly with the a webinar with the DOH, Department of Health. And so they were telling everyone, please, to utilize telehealth. Call your insurance,
Right,
get the number where you can get telehealth doctor. That means virtual. You have a virtual, you can use your
mhm,
phone. They can, if you don't
right,
have, the internet, they'll call you on the phone. If you have, again, suspicions that you're pregnant, like you said, to get the pregnancy
right,
test outside, but you can actually speak to a doctor virtually first before they tell and
correct.
let them tell you if you need to come in. So what if a
Yes.
woman is pregnant? Because I know, a lot of doctors' offices, they're practicing differently, so, and normally they could just come in if they're pregnant to get their checkups. How are doctors handling that now for someone that is pregnant, either newly pregnant or if they're, far into their pregnancy?
So a lot of the offices, they have streamlined how they are taking patients in. So depending on where you are in your pregnancy, if it's the beginning of your pregnancy, there's still a lot of important tests and lab work that you need done, types of screening to rule out any type of congenital abnormalities. So still call the office if you're in your first trimester, particularly if you've had no visits yet. They are
Hmm.
still taking patients. They're very,
Okay.
spaced out so that it's not a crowded office. The providers
Okay.
are still practicing with precautions. They're wearing masks. They will give the patient a mask as well. And you are able to still have your visit. You're able to still have your first trimester sonogram in addition,
Okay.
because these are tests that need, screening tests that need to be done early. If
Oh,
you have already have an established pregnancy, and depending on where you are, there are a lot of things that can be done through telemedicine on the phone. We're even now writing prescriptions for blood pressure machines so that patients are able to take their own blood pressure at home. When they call in through telemedicine, and that's one of the vitals that we use every time they have a visit. So they're able to take their blood pressure. We do the screening questions. How are they feeling? They have to be more responsible in terms of now their own prenatal care.
okay.
Kit count to make sure your baby is moving, things like that. We ask them how are they doing in terms of their diet, if they're still able to get adequate nutrients and shopping properly. If they have a scale in their home, we can ask them to weigh themselves so that we can
Oh, wow.
monitor their weight as well. Particularly for diabetic patients, they should have already been given the kit to do their finger sticks and things of that nature. So we're still able to monitor that through telemedicine. So it's a lot that we still can monitor and take care of, although we can't see them face to face in person.
That sounds great. That is good. So they can get pretty much everything that they need with the doctor giving them the instructions on the other side.
Correct, correct.
Good. So good. So this, and people need to hear this because again, so many are panicking and because they can't do the, normally go into the office because normally when this is not, we don't have the quarantine, they can just freely go into the office. And
Right,
and so now they can get the services, but it's just going to be telehealth and they'll kind of be working with the doctor in terms of weighing themselves and their blood pressure. Well, that's
exactly.
good. That's good. Well,
Right,
how is
right.
it when how is it for a woman now during this pandemic when she actually has to deliver? Because, so many of the hospitals are either covert hospitals, I'm hearing, or some of the hospitals, there's just such extreme precaution.
Right.
And so how does someone who's pregnant, does she get someone to go in there with her? Or, what's
It
going on now when a
depends.
woman actually has to deliver the baby during this time? How does that look?
Right. So the labor room, anyone that comes into the labor room at most hospitals now, everyone's temperature is being taken because, like I said, at least we can, use that as some type of monitoring device. But their temperature is being taken. They're still evaluated if they're in labor. Some of the hospitals, they cannot have even one person with them during their labor. And that's
They
unfortunate
can't.
because,
Wow.
a woman needs support during the labor process.
Hmm.
Others hospitals are doing just one person, and that person is given a mask. The patient is given a mask. and their labor procedure is, you know, like normal. So
Okay.
if they have to be induced, we can still do that. If they're laboring regularly, we're doing that. If they need a cesarean section, all of this is for obstetrical purposes, not because they may have, you know, the disease. So let's talk about someone who may even, a pregnant woman who may even be infected with the
Okay.
virus. We don't change in terms of inducing her labor or performing a cesarean section just because she has coronavirus. We still follow the obstetrical indications for her to have her baby.
Okay.
Once she delivers, if someone is found to be positive, it's all new. So there are really not that many studies out, but there was a study that did prove that there was no transmission in the cord blood after the baby was delivered that had the virus, despite the mom being positive.
Okay.
So we're still co-signing on the mom to breastfeed, because that's still the #1 way to help the baby in terms of antibodies and building up their immune system and things of that nature. But if the mom is found to be positive, we tell her to wear a mask, definitely a lot of hand washing. If she's able to pump, that would be even better. And then someone else, you know, maybe in the house can feed the baby. But, you know, this is all evolving. It's all new. So we're learning as we're going along. And obviously, the more patients that we have, particularly that are positive, then we could collect data and enter them into studies and see how they are affected versus those who, you know, may not be so in dire respiratory, you know, condition, so to speak. So that's what
Ryan says here his daughter's going to be born next month. So one of the followers. So this is right in a time when, you know, we're still going to be dealing with this. So this is good. Thanks, Ryan, for stating that, because that's why this information is so important. So you will know, you know, some of the changes and, you know, how to prepare yourself, not only for the delivery, but emotionally, because, you know, for a lot of people, this is a joyous occasion, but also now it's turned into a very, you know, for some people, a scary occasion because the timing, you know, of the baby's birth and this virus currently. And so much, you know, so much information, like you said, they're still collecting a lot of data. So, well, that sounds good.
The idea to be in a hospital at this point in time, if you're not going in there for coronavirus, is scary. You know, some hospitals, there's one of the Montefiore hospitals up here has now totally turned into a COVID-19 hospital. The labor floor has been moved to 2 other hospitals. So women are not even allowed to deliver at that hospital because that hospital is totally a COVID-19 hospital now.
And that was a question I was going to ask you, because I heard that some of the, like you just said, some of the hospitals that people, you know, in the beginning just knew that they were going to deliver their baby, those hospitals have been changed into COVID-19 hospitals. And so now they're going to be rerouted to different hospitals. We got a connection. Hang on, guys.
I'm here.
We're back. Okay, good. Yeah, so some of them, they're going to be maybe redirected to a new hospital because the hospital probably would. So it's just a matter of that's why staying in contact with the doctor is so important, because, you know, there are changes going on. They're putting things in place, you know, definitely to make it, you know, to as you know, doable as possible, you know, emotionally for everyone. But there's just changes happening all the time, you know, with these different cases, and they have to make room for so many people as well as take care of the ones that are delivering. Wow. So what can, because again, we talked about how this is a stressful time, what are some suggestions you can say for moms that are pregnant that can kind of keep them from coming into the hospital prematurely? You know, they really need to not be there until this time. There's some things that they can put in place, some things that they can do at home just to kind of minimize that risk.
I would say #1 is deplug and not watch social media so much, the news. I mean, everything now is bombarded. And although we have to stay aware and be on top of what's going on, you can't inundate yourself with that 24/7.
Absolutely.
So they
Absolutely.
definitely need to take a day, even pick, say, a Sunday, just now, not going to pick up your phone, not look on any social media. Just relax. Just do some breathing exercises, which would help
Absolutely.
if you're in your third trimester with the delivery anyway. YouTube, yoga exercises, meditation, all of those things, reading, take a walk, be careful, but walking, especially if you're in your third trimester, is going to help with the labor process anyway. So any type of exercise, low impact exercise, again, that would help as well. But just trying to clear your head and not really be so inundated with all that is going on around you and how we are unfortunately living right now.
That's good. That is really good. And adding the piece, like you said, even, if you are pregnant, you want to keep your stress down. You really do. Just kind of piggybacking off of what Dr. Paige said, from a therapeutic standpoint, you want to keep, because your stress affects not only your mind but your body as well. And, you don't want to find yourself in the hospital earlier than you need to be. So make sure make sure the people around you understand the importance of you having to relax. If fellas, if you have your lady or your wife is pregnant, I'm sure you've been wonderful all along, but this is definitely the time that you want to keep her as relaxed as possible. And just like Dr. Pate said, don't be inundated with the news all the time. She doesn't need to be yelling or doing anything that's going to cause her to have to go into the hospital sooner than necessary. Now, for her and for the baby, exactly. Now, someone did make a comment about birthing centers. How are birthing centers being affected by Corona?
Probably similar to hospitals in terms of they're probably really cutting down on it being a total family experience and allowing one person, because again, you don't know anyone's status and you have to walk in the vein that everyone is positive until proven otherwise. So I'm sure they're cutting down on the amount of people, and it's probably just if they have a doula or what have you, just or the midwife, just the person and the midwife. They're probably practicing even stricter because they're not necessarily in a hospital where if something goes by, you have everything on hand there. So they're cutting out on the amount of people that is able to experience it as a family. Otherwise healthier situation.
Okay. Someone wrote, will there be any special procedures that need to be followed when bringing the newborn home? So
are we talking if the mom is positive or not, or she's negative, or she doesn't even know?
I guess we can answer both. If mom is we can do both, because there's, if mom is pregnant and she's positive, does she, and she's bringing the baby home, is there any type of quarantining, that's going on in that regard?
Right. Well, if she can quarantine, and not everybody is able to because they might not have that help at home. So if she can, then like I said, if she's able to pump, then she can pump so that her baby can still get breast milk and have someone else care for the baby, and she should be quarantining from anybody else in the house anyway. And if she's not able to quarantine, again, mask, wash hands on a consistent basis. Definitely, I would not recommend, we don't recommend babies sleeping with mom anyway, but we know some people still do it. But I would really be adamant with the baby sleeping in the crib or the bassinet, not with the mom. And just practicing as much safety precautions and washing and things of that nature as possible.
Okay. And has there been any problems with, has anyone heard of maybe any babies, that were recently born that have gotten the virus, or has we heard anything like that?
There are some studies. I found a study on the earliest baby being born was 36 hours old
Wow.
and had contracted the virus. But the study was saying this is proof that, again, it wasn't transmitted from the mom, that the baby got it from being infected by someone else who had it,
Okay.
be it someone in the family or in a hospital, possibly,
Okay.
anything possible. But we are seeing the numbers of babies not quite as early as, say, 3 days old. But we are getting a number of babies being born. And it seems like they're contracting it from people who are positive versus a direct transmission from the mother.
Okay. And again, so that's why it's just even, I mean, social distancing is important, when you have a newborn anyway. That's always going to be, old school. You couldn't come around the baby for a while.
Right. Don't touch their face.
Right. Don't touch their face, any of those things. So those are practices that I remember when I was young, And so now it's just as important. It's even more important, if someone has to come home where there are other people to keep the baby away, right now, keep the baby away right now. Quarantine. Wow. That's important.
Especially if you have people in the home who are still, say, they're first responders or they have to work every day. So are these people taking the train? Are they exposing themselves at high risk, and then they're bringing that back home? So you really have to then quarantine a baby from those type of circumstances so that you can cut down the risk of the baby. Because again, their immune system is being built up as each day that, they're in the world. They're not equal to a full-blown adult. So you really have to be more conscientious of that.
Yeah. No, this is good. This is so good. In terms of, because I know, so many doctors, they're talking about the burnout and there's just a lot that's going on, a lot of responsibility for our healthcare workers who we are, grateful to. How are some of your colleagues, you and your colleagues, how are you kind of detoxing, so to speak, or what is your self-care like, during this process?
It's hard. We talk a lot to each other because I think we understand what we're going through. We are able to just kind of veg out on each other. But again, we have to deplug as well. Not, at least if we're able to take a day or two off from the job, just so that we'll get a breather and collect ourselves. Maybe even tell your family, just give me half a day just to be by myself, just to collect my thoughts, just to do my own breathing, just to relax, read my Bible, go into prayer. What have you that works for that particular person. But it's hard because this is a war we're fighting. It really is a war. You're going into work in battle. From the time you hit the door, you're fighting this enemy of this coronavirus. You're suiting up. If you're properly suiting up, you look like you're in war.
Yeah.
And so it's a really scary situation, but this is what we signed up for, to take care of people. And, we truly love what we're doing. And we just pray that, we all come out okay.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I'm glad that you have your, your peers that you guys can lean on for support, because like you said, it really is a war. So many people don't, it's invisible, but just the wreckage it's been huge. And so when we think about, a lot of, again, for me, I've had a few people, just a little anxious, wondering how to get proper care and what to do. And King Joseph says, thank you, Dr. Paige. This is real. Yeah, much love. Yeah, it's important that you all know this. And even if if you know someone that's pregnant, understand what's necessary for them to do. More important, let them know that their services are still, they're going to still receive the care that they were promised, but that they definitely need to be very cautious. And again, we can't emphasize enough social distancing. We just can't emphasize that enough.
Absolutely.
You know, if someone has a
Absolutely.
baby, yeah. And, you know, because we are in New York, and New York, we're densely populated. And so in some environments, people live, you know, their home environment is dense as well. There's so many people that live within their household. So these are just some
Yeah.
of the concerns that people are having, or concerns they should have, in terms of making sure
Hmm.
that the baby and the mom, that they're safe and they're isolated if necessary.
Right. Right.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Anything else you can think of? I think because that was pretty much, you know, the main thing. Questions that I was getting, questions that I've, you know, been hearing people talk about. You
Hmm.
know, just any other precautions or any other, you know, just overall tips that people need to be mindful of for the covert. I didn't know about the earrings. You know, I'm still in shock about I can't wear my hoochies out to the store, but I guess I'll
No,
manage
no,
them
no
out.
hoopty. You should be in your mask, your gloves, full gear.
Yeah. Okay.
I would just add that for the word just needs to get out more, I guess, I feel, in our community about the seriousness of this. And I
Mm-hmm.
think because now that things have shut down in terms of your hair salons, your barbershops, and you know, word of mouth spreads that way, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you see things on TV, you might not necessarily take it to, you know, as serious as it is. Oh, that's affecting other people. And it's not until you see that it's really affecting your immediate friends and family that we're
Mm-hmm.
starting to take this serious. I mean, I have seen this recent as this weekend, someone had a baby shower and still has
Wow.
people at their house. And that's just unreal.
And I'm sorry, how
So
many people did you say? How many people were at their baby shower?
it was like more than 25.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
so, you know, this is real. It's
Mm-hmm.
really, really real. The seriousness, how sick people are getting. And I think that also when these people, when patients are going to the hospital, you don't have that element anymore of your family and your friends praying over you, because, you know, helping you fight through this. They're alone. They're by
Right.
themselves. And so you don't
Mm-hmm.
even want to be in that situation, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
it's a really horrible disease. It's
Mm-hmm.
a pandemic. It's affecting New York more than any other state in the
Mm-hmm.
United States right now, and it's real. So we have
Yeah.
got to take it serious and practice our precautions, and don't get loose with, you know, we're starting to see the numbers stabilize in terms of admissions into the
Mm-hmm.
hospital, but our
Mm-hmm.
death rates on a daily basis, 600 people plus dying on a day. That's serious. It's no joke. So,
Yeah. So someone said here, please emphasize how important it is for younger people to heed the warning. It's so true. It's so true. The younger, not wise at all to be
right,
around large groups of people. That's right. Got to be safe and healthy. That's right. We are in
right.
epicenter. It's true. We have to make sure that the younger, you know, the younger adults, young adults, teens, they have to understand how serious this is. I
Right.
have couple of clients of mine that have it, you know, and they're
Mm-hmm.
just been a few weeks out, but still they're still
Mm-hmm.
testing positive for it. And you know, there's not enough
Right.
information in the direction of the virus to know if I can well, this person, they had it, they tested positive, but they've had it for a few weeks, so I'm okay around them. You don't know that. And that's why it's so
You're right.
important to mask
You don't
up,
know
because
that.
you just don't know. People that are out there, they may know, they may not know. There's not enough information. So the precautions are definitely necessary. And make sure your kids know, make sure they don't take it lightly. You know, 600
Right.
people died down there.
Right.
Yeah. I had a client tell me that they lost in 2 weeks 5 relatives.
Wow.
2 weeks. Two
I'm
weeks.
seeing that as well. 2 and 3
Mm-hmm.
relatives attacking families. I will say
Mm-hmm.
on a good note,
Yeah, let's end
80%
it on a good note.
that are 80% that are affected will resolve. They will be okay. It's 20% that we see these horrible numbers. And
Mm-hmm.
one person that dies is one too many. But I
Right.
will say that for the most part, the majority will have horrible flu-like symptoms, worse than any flu they've ever had, but they will recover. But
Okay.
you
Well,
have
that's
to
good.
we have to take care of our bodies. We have to,
Right.
our vitamin C, our vitamin D, our regular vitamins, fruits, vegetables, which is another problem in
You're speaking my
some,
language.
neighborhoods and areas where we don't have that. We have these food
Mhm.
deserts. So it's cheaper to buy, fried whatever than a head of broccoli. We
Mhm.
have to do better. We have to do
Mhm.
better because we're dying and we don't have to be,
And we have to demand one, which this is probably a conversation for another day, but we also have to begin to demand these for our neighborhoods. We have to demand
Exactly.
that our neighbors,
Exactly.
someone will absolutely take care of your temple. Exactly. But we have to sometimes demand that the stores
Hmm.
that come into our neighborhoods bring us the food that's good for us. We can't
Right.
no
Right.
longer let stores come in and just have all kinds of garbage and they're nothing
Exactly.
green or nothing fresh. We have to also, but like I said, that'll be a conversation for another day. But thank you, for giving us information, not only just the updates on the COVID-19 and some precautions, but also giving us information for moms so they know what to do, how they can still feel comfortable with getting the visits that they need. It'll be telehealth, it'll be something new, but that they can see this,
Right.
they can still see their doctor and they can still get their their prenatal care as well as throughout their pregnancy, get the assistance that they need. And again,
Yes.
thank you to you and your colleague for what you're doing, for being on the front line, for making sure everyone is safe, putting yourself at risk, staying on top of the information for us and delivering it. We really, really appreciate it. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. And I'm saying
This
this.
has been wonderful.
Yeah, thank you so much. Again, thanks for bringing the information to the community. All the comments down here, everyone really appreciates it. And so, this just food cooperative. And then I'm reading all the good evening, ladies. Okay, all right. On that note, I'm gonna say good night and thanks again, Dr. Paige, for this wonderful, informative session. All right.
Thank you. Be
Thanks.
well. Be safe, everyone.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye. All right, good. All right, so as you heard, you got the information. You know what to do. Stay safe out here. You guys, thank you, thank you. You're welcome. Take heed to what she was saying. Pass it on to your friends and family to stay safe out here. And again, if someone is pregnant, like I said, just continue to have them to stay in contact with their doctor. And if you're a pregnant mom out there, relax. Stay away from so much media so you can stay calm and enjoy your pregnancy as much as possible. All right? Good night, folks.